Hello and welcome to the channel. This is Jorge Santiago again, coming to you from JBR Fishing. Today we're going to talk to you about 3 weapons that you're going to need in your arsenal, whether you're an experienced angler or just a beginner. So stay tuned and we're going to catch you up on what are the 3 best weapons that you're going to need when you're out there fishing for some large bass. Okay, so the first weapon in this arsenal that we're going to speak about, whether you're an experienced angler or you're just a beginner, is going to be the Wacky Style fishing lure. You could use a stick worm, and the way that you will use it is something like this. This is a Wacky Hook, and now this is a weighted Wacky Hook. This is 1/4 ounce. That way this is used mainly when you're going to fish deep water, Wacky Style. You also could use the, let's see what I have over here. I think I have something a little bit lighter, so when you're fishing shallow water. Okay, I have right here is I want to say the 16th right here, 16th ounce. Yes, it's 3/16. I mean 1/16, and this is the 3/16 right here. Okay, now there's different ways to set this up. Now the stick worm is not the only rubber lure, plastic lure that you could use. When I started fishing Wacky Style, I was using a trick worm. So you could use a trick worm, you could use any worm that you could find out there that's gonna have something similar effect, in the way that it comes down and it just like kind of floats. Kind of like a butterfly, but it doesn't come all the way up and down. It just kind of floats down real nice and easy. When you're fishing deep, yes, I use my 3/16. When I'm fishing, when I say deep, I'm talking about more than 10 feet. When I'm talking about 10 feet, 8 feet, I'm using close to I'm using that 1/16. Now when I'm fishing close to the bank, 5 feet or less, maybe 7 feet, I'm using it weightless. And what I'm using for the weightless is just a regular weightless wacky hook, which is something similar to this right here. I don't remember who makes this hook, but I use a lot of VMC hooks. They make different styles. They make this one. I believe VMC makes the hook with the wire guard on it. This has the plastic, the black plastic. This has the white plastic on it, as you can see there. They make many different sizes on that, but this is pretty much the same, the one that I use. Now, many anglers out there what they do is that they just put the hook straight through the worm. Now, when I first started fishing the Wacky Style, we didn't use the O-ring. The O-ring came out, and then the tool came out soon after that, which you could use, and it's something similar to this. This is the tool right here. So what you do is that you stick in the worm right in here, and then you just roll this out all the way out, and you do it like that. But what I don't like about this is that when you're fishing Wacky Style, the hook tends to be like this, and I don't like that. Many do, I don't. And it'll be like this. I don't like that. If I'm gonna fish something like this, I'm gonna fish a Neko. Okay, all right. So, and this is not, I don't know, I just don't agree with that. If they're gonna catch it, the plastic worm is gonna be in the way. It's too much obstacles in the way, too much obstruction. So I'll just use it like this, and it's nice and clean. The fish is gonna get it. It's gonna come right in here. You're gonna get a good hook set, and that's gonna be perfect. Now VMC makes these little it's kind of a hybrid O-ring. I don't know what it's called, and it comes with this little plier, and they come separate as well. And the way that it's made is, let me show you. Maybe I could set this one off, get it off of here. I don't know if I can or not. Once it's in there, I think it's in there. Nope, I think it's already in there. So, but the way that you do it is that you could, this is what it looks like out of the package, okay? Out of the package right there. So the way that you do this is that you take it here, and you squeeze the plier. You put the worm in there. You might want to go a little bit deeper there. Put the worm in there, just like so. Then you just pull this out like that, and then voila, then you have this. So that's just one way of doing it. I prefer that way. That way, you know, it's the worm, the plastic lure will last longer. I don't know if you could tell this one here. It has a lot of bite marks. I just took my wife fishing out this weekend, and she caught quite a few with this. The other, that's one arsenal. That's one weapon that you could have in your arsenal. Now this is good either for an experienced angler, or this is great even for a beginner. You want to take your child, your spouse, a friend, you know, teach somebody how to fish. This is great. You could fish this off the bank. You fish this on ponds. You could fish it off the boat and off to the bank. Perfect. You can't go wrong with this. This is a fish catching machine right here. You can't go wrong with this. Okay. Now, another weapon that you want to have in your arsenal is gonna be the. Let me get this right here. It's gonna be. Where is it? Okay. Shaky head. I just bought some shaky heads over here. Okay, so you have the 1/8 ounce. This is new. I never used this brand before. It has little kickstands. That way they could stand up. Whether they stand up or not, I don't know. I don't believe none of them do. Some people swear by it. I haven't seen any footage that shows the actual bait standing. I don't think it actually stands at all. You know, I think the bait is too heavy. It's gonna eventually fall down. So I don't think it actually stands. But you know, the whole purpose is that to pull it and have it shake it. You know, you drag it on the bottom and it'll shake, and there you go. So you have the 1/8 ounce. This is when you're fishing shallow, and you also have the 1/4 ounce. This is when you're fishing deep. So you know that you want to fish this weed lines. You know what, at the weed line, you don't want to be. You could fish it on rocks, great. You know, you could fish it on rocks. Fish it anywhere there's a transition between sand and rocks. P rocks into hard rocks. Anywhere that there's a transition, sand into rocks, weed line into rocks. Anywhere that there's a transition of some type of structure is gonna be great. You don't want to fish it into the weeds. You know, this is not something that this is gonna have an exposed hook. Well, it's not. So you could probably fish it somewhere on the. You can fish it on weeds, because the hook is gonna be hooked onto the. It's gonna be hooked in. So let me get one of these out here, show you how you rig this up. I should have this open already for you, but okay. So see, this has like a kickstand right there in the bottom. I don't know if you can see it right there. You see that? So the way that you will go here is oh Lord. Hook it up like if you're doing a Texas rig. Okay. You're gonna put it on the keeper right there. You're gonna measure here exactly where do you want your hook to be at. So you keep it right there, and then make sure it's good right there. Now keep in mind, make sure that this is nice and straight. Okay. Right there. Okay, so that's where you want it to be at. Okay, whether you want a worm this big Now this doesn't have to necessarily be a stick worm. It could be something smaller. This is a 5.5-inch worm. You could use a 4-inch, something that's gonna help it stay up. Okay, you could use a 4-inch ribbon tail. You could use a curly tail. You could use a trick worm. You know, you could cut it down to size, and you could use anything. You could use your imagination. You know, think out of the box. Always think out of the box. And what you want to do is that you want to have it here. You want to drag, and if this is actually true and it works, then it should be like this, and you should be able to drag it along the bottom, and it should be shaking. It's not going to shake loosely, of course, it's underwater, but it's going to have some type of movement, some type of action that's going to call fish, and fish are going to go crazy for it. I guarantee you that fish will go crazy. This is another fish catching magnet. You're not going to go wrong. Now, keep in mind, if you're teaching someone how to fish, these are perfect lures, perfect methods to teach someone how to fish. You know, lately, you've seen some of my videos. I'm teaching my wife how to fish. She's enjoying it. She's really enjoying it. She posted a picture on her Facebook and Instagram, and you know, I'm gonna share the picture with you today. And you know, it's a face that, you know, when you could tell that when someone is enjoying it, someone's happy about it, that's what you like to see. Okay, so that's the second one. The second weapon in this arsenal. You know, you always got to think, because you don't know what time of day or where the fish are going to be at. Yes, you're probably going to go for the early morning bite. So you know, you might have something very lightweight. You're going to go to the bank, of course. That's where the fish are going to be most likely early in the morning, because you know it's going to be warmer at the edge, at the bank. And as the day transition, the sun is going to come up. It's going to get very hot. So they're going to look for the same water temperature they're looking for. Keep in mind that the fish, it's 95. I'm in Texas. Let's say early in the morning, the temperature is changing by 75 degrees outside. The water might be 80 degrees, and they're looking for the 80 degree water temperature, right? As it gets hotter and it goes to 90 degrees, that fish is going to continue to look for that 80 degree temperature. So they're going to migrate into deeper water where it's still at 80 degrees, whether it's high in the water column or lower in the water column. That they're going to try and maintain that water temperature. That's where they're going to be at. So it might be at the bottom, closer to the bank, or it might be suspended deeper offshore. So you know, you gotta try and find them. You know, once you find them, if you have some if you have some fish finders, you know, looking for some structures, you might find some structure. You know, fish the structure, cast at the structure. If you think there's fish there, you might see. If you have some good experience with your range or your fish finders, and you say, okay, I see fish. You know, they look like fish. I believe they're fish, and you see them, and you're like, okay, they are fish. I see them moving, you know, I see them, and I'm sure they're fish. Okay, you're casting, then I'm hitting it, then I'm hitting it. You know what? I'm at 12 feet. Throw a top water. See if you could bring them up to the top. Something that makes noise, you know, put a walking bait that has some knockers in it and some rattle, and just, if they come up, they hit it, perfect. If they don't come up, then, you know, try jerk bait. Try something, try a crankbait that comes all the way down there. Maybe they're not looking for something that's all the way in the bottom. Maybe they're just suspended. They might want something swimming right by them and hit that. You know, you never know. You gotta think outside the box and use all, you know, you got bottom of the water column, you got the middle of the water column, you got the very top of it. Okay, so that's number 2. Right now, another one that we're gonna try right now, that we're gonna talk about right now, is gonna be, actually I'm gonna give you 4. I said 3, but I'm gonna give you 4. All right, so number 3 right now is gonna be, I'm sure you know what this is. This is a Ned Rig. Ned Rig is another fish catching magnet. Okay, these are, I'm giving you some information here that's gonna help anybody and everybody catch fish. All right. I think this is from Missile Baits. I think this is Z-Bomb. I don't know what it's called. Okay, the way that you rig this is you thread it. Oh Lord, okay, let me bend these guards. You thread all the way down, all the way through. There you go, just like that. Okay, you have it all like that. You put the guards up. Now they're supposed to be weedless. Whether it's weedless or not, you know, advertising makes miracles, make things wonderful. But whether it is or not, you know, you're still gonna get hung up if you're not careful, okay? So this, when I first took my wife fishing, this is what she had. This is what she caught a 3-pounder on. And she did great. This is what hooked her. This is what she hooked her. She caught it on this rod right here that I built for her. And this is a custom built rod. I built this for her. This the first rod that I built, and I made it for her. And this is a medium action, fast tip. And she loves it. She wants me to build her some more because now she said she's a pro. So now she can, now if she gets hung up and she breaks off, she has to have something already ready to go. So she has to have 2 or 3. So I got my work cut out for me. And Ned Rig, this is it. This is a 3/8 ounce right here. And they come in smaller weights, smaller heads for shallower. Many people believe that this is something that you want to cast and you want to hop. Okay, many do hop it. It is successful. This will catch any which way you talk about, any which way you cast it, any which way you fish it. But the way that you want to have this is that you want to cast it and you want to drag it along the bottom. You want to drag around rocks, pig rocks, and transitions, grass beds, at the edge of grass beds. Anywhere that there's a transition, a breaking transition right there, that's where you want to cast this. Okay, even open rocks, you know, open rocks will work great. This is going to resemble a crawdad, you know, crawling through the rocks. It's going to work great. Okay, so this is something that's going to catch fish. This doesn't matter that, you know, you're an experienced angler, whether you are, you know, fishing the elite, fishing the MLF tour. No, this is something that's going to catch fish, whether this is going to be your first day out fishing or you have been fishing for 15, 20, 30 years. Okay, watch the elite, watch the MLF, and then you're gonna hear them all the time. Well, I caught this on the Ned, or I caught this on a Wacky, or I caught this on a shaky head. Okay, Dustin Carnell, he actually weighed one in when he won the Red Crest on a shaky head. Who would have think? Who would imagine that he would have weighed one in on a shaky head when he was catching everything on a jerkbait? Huh? Who would have think? Who would imagine that? Okay, so that's that. Okay, now the number one that I think is one of the best lures that's out there right now, one of the best options out there, is gonna be this right here. And you could use this. This is gonna work just fine. And the Neko rig. Neko, and you know, everybody says drop shot. You know, I'm a little tired of drop shot videos. You know, everybody fishes drop shot. Everybody hears about drop shot. I fish drop shot. My wife fishes drop shot. My son fishes drop shot. Drop shot. You know, everybody knows about it. It's very. They say that it came from Japan. I beg to differ, but you know, that's just my opinion. You know. I used to, when I was young, I used to fish out in the ocean with my father, and we used drop shot. I was 7, 8 years old. The only thing is that the drop shot wasn't tied on, the hook wasn't tied on to the leader. It had a little leader on the leader sticking out about 1 inch or 2 out, and that was it. So, you know, this is not something new, even though that's what we're led to believe. So, the way Neko rig. And for the Neko rig, this is perfect right here. The same thing they use for the Wacky rig, the same thing. You're gonna take, this is a Finesse Neko hook right here, Finesse Neko hook. I use the one with the barb because I use it for my drop shot, because I fish my drop shot, I fish it weedless. Okay. Now these hooks do come weedless over here. It has a little plastic weed guard over here. I just don't use it. Okay, but so what you want to do is that you want to always put the hook facing from the bottom up, always from the bottom facing up, never down, always up, because the fish is gonna come like this. You don't know if your hook is down, you might not get them. Okay. Now this is a number 1 hook. Yes, this is a #1 hook, okay? Now, you have several options, okay? You could use the entire nail weight, or you could just cut it in half, or you could use whatever amount you want. Now, keep in mind, when you plug this in here, you want to plug it in all the way in, okay? All the way in, all the way in. There you go. Just like that. And what's gonna happen here is that that weight is gonna cause this lure to come down like this. It's gonna come straight down. Now, this is not a weight that's gonna make this lure come down fast enough in deep water, okay? If there's deep water and there's a little bit of current and you cast, it's not gonna come, it's most likely it's not gonna come down where you want it at. It might drift a bit, okay? So what I would recommend is that depending on how strong you think the current is, I will use this other type, the one that has this half moon tip. It's a little bit heavier, okay? I wanna say this is 316 maybe not. I wanna say less than that. Is it 316? I think it is. Okay, and this one will make it come down a little bit faster, okay? And just like that, this is when you want deeper water, and the regular nail weight is a little bit more shallower, okay? And the way that you fish this, when you get to the bottom, is almost like a shaky head. You just drag and drag and drag, and just drag and drag and drag. And believe me, this is the Mac Daddy. The Mac Daddy fish catching machine right here. Everybody says, oh, the drop shot, the drop shot, the drop shot, the drop shot, the drop shot. Yes, the drop shot is an outstanding way to fish. It is. It's undeniably a fish catching machine, a system. It is great. But don't let yourself get stuck only on that. Experiment, please experiment. You know, the more that you experiment, you know, there's nothing better than to go out there and catch fish on different things and come back and say, oh, I caught a fish, I caught a 3-pounder, I caught a 2-pounder. If you're an experienced angler, you know, come back and say, you know what, I caught this 6.5 pound, this 7 pound on, you know, finesse fishing on 6 pound, on a 6 pound, you know, fluorocarbon, on an 8 pound fluorocarbon, or, you know, however it is, you know, whatever you're fishing with. Or I caught this 5-pounder on a net rig, or I caught this on a shaky head, you know, and you know, it's nothing better than that. Now, everything that I just showed you today is all for finesse fishing. You know, it's I do a lot of finesse over here because in the lakes that I fish on, they're very, very pressured. I mean, it's the summertime, everybody and anybody is in the lake. Boats are everywhere. There's recreational boats, fishing boats. There's everybody and anybody. Guides are out there. So they're very pressured. So I use a lot of finesse style fishing over here to try to get everything taken care of and, you know, have some fun. So now what I used, well, I'm gonna tell you what I built for my wife, okay? Okay, what I have here is a homemade rod, is a 610 MHX homemade rod, medium power, fast action, okay? I have it on 10 pounds, I want to say is spider wire, and I have 8-pound fluorocarbon. And what I'm using for fluorocarbon over here, I want to say is Bass Pro Shop, 100% fluoro. So sorry I couldn't finish the video yesterday. We had some overheating issues with the temperature over here going up to 100 degrees in Texas, and it kind of caused a little bit of a mishap on my GoPro over here. So I'm finishing off over here the next day. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed all the information that I put out there with all those 4 fishing techniques. You know, the shaky head, the Ned technique, the Wacky Style, and the Neko rig. Those are great fishing techniques. Those are all great styles and techniques that you could use either for bank, off the bank, off a pier, or off a boat. anywhere that you want to fish. You know, fish them off transitioning structures. You can fish them off weed edges, anywhere that you can. They're very fun. They're fantastic for beginner anglers as well. So if you want to take out somebody, teach them how to fish, those are the great starting points right there. I hope you liked the video. Please hit us like, share, subscribe to the video. You help the channel out a lot. Wish you the best, and see you in the next video.